Everybody sit straight. Spine erect. Chin away from your chest. Eyes gently closed. Shift your eye gaze to the center of eyebrows, the third eye. Your Jyotishmati, the light of awareness within. Take a deep breath and exhale. One more time. Let's start with the opening chant, the seeking prayer. We're seeking excellence in our learning today. If you know it, follow with me. Otherwise, simply follow along with your hearing. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Let's begin. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sorry, Sriniji, we can't see you or hear you. I mean, I can't. I'm not sure if Ramakanji can.
Yeah, I can't hear as well, yes.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Ramakanji, you want to call him? I don't think he.
Right, we should do something.
Oh,
no, because they have not joined in the.
Yeah, now we can't hear you.
Able to hear?
Yeah, now we can. Something happened that the voice went and picture went away.
No, the number of people, actually the connection got disconnected. There was no 10YEC there. So the presenter login was missing. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, let's continue. No, he's not. Virenji is not coming. You can also go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. So very quickly, does anybody have any surprises, delightful surprises to share on a Christmas day? Savita Garu?
I'm so full. I have nothing to say. Yesterday's class was very nice. So this is my first YEC camp. So it was nice. So I was looking forward for today.
Awesome. Vedamshi, any special gift? I see. Awesome. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a quick reflection on what we covered yesterday. And then we're going to learn about some two important things today. It's about something that we touched on yesterday. We learned about a Japanese technique yesterday. What is it called? Kaizen. So we're going to learn about two more techniques and how we can actually take to this yoga practice every day. And then we're going to do our yoga practice. And then the most important topic, I said yesterday that we all do yoga every day, more than we think. Is that right? So we're going to learn about how we are doing every day, most part of our lives. And we're going to learn about Ashtavangani, the 8 limbs of yoga. And then Patanjali revealed the Ashtavangani, and it also teaches a systemic way of how we can cultivate superpowers. Actually, being human is super. And systemically, by following one of the limbs every day in our way of life, we can actually cultivate infinite powers. It's such a magic thing. So we're going to learn about how we can cultivate some of these superpowers that is already there within us. You want to know about that? Yeah, in a systemic way. And we don't even have to go look for a big bang. We're going to do it in a simple Kaizen way, simple steps. Isn't that even made easy for us? So we're going to learn about that. So I'm going to ask everybody a question. In today, should we try something different where we're going to learn about a little bit of knowledge, and then we're going to try some of the yoga thing. We're going to do the standing series, and then we're going to take a break and then learn about Ashtavangani, and then we go back to the floor. Should we do that way, or should we do the full yoga? The first one? I think that's better, right? Let's do some of the stretching, and then we're going to talk about some theory, and then we're going to do the floor series, right? Okay. So you are my captain for today. So I'm going to listen to you. Whatever you say, that's what we're going to follow today. Are you ready? Yeah. Oh man, you're a leader. Actually, that's good, right? So very quickly, let me start my sharing. So does anybody want to show what is the Yec Mudra with our hand gestures? Did anybody practice? What do we want to do with our fingers?
One is disturbance.
Huh?
Disturbance.
Dullness.
Distracting. Pointing.
One-pointed, concentration, focused. Yeah.
And then mastery.
And then mastery. That's correct. And then mastery. So we call this as a bingo. So the way we would want to do this is like a bingo. It's like, does anybody know whether this is called bingo or not? I learned about it this morning. And I was looking for what is this gesture known as, because this one is the focused mind and this one is the mastered mind. So we can plant whatever the thought that we want in our mind with our effort. A donut cannot plant a thought in our mind, right? Today actually donut actually takes a lot of control of our mind. Hey, come and, eat me, come and eat me. But we basically, it's like, hey, we can actually do this, right? So, Savita Garu?
Yes.
Very quickly, anything that you took away from the yoga definition yesterday?
Anything I took away from yoga yesterday was the 5 fingers and the shloka, which it's always good to remember that that when we are in a disturbed state or negative state, that it is untruth, and and that will get us into a growth mindset where it will ask us, okay, how do I get out of this, or move away from this stage? And then that's when the techniques will come into handy. That, okay, these are the things I should use to get away from this negative emotion to the positive emotion and actually create some action. Yeah.
So beautifully said. The prayer that we talk about, right? Asatoma Sadgamaya. Anytime when we are in a dull state or a disturbed state or a distracted state, those are not truth. That's not who we are. And that's why we sing this, Asatoma Sadgamaya. Sadgamaya is, you're always the focused and harmonious mind. That is the truth. That's who we represent. So anytime when we become aware of these 3 fingers, the pinky finger that makes us a little bit disturbed or agitated, we know that that's not me. We know that, when we are feeling like dull, lethargy, or slumber, we don't want to do, we don't feel exuberant. We also say it's like, that's Asat, that's not me. Or when we feel distracted, it is like something like social media takes us over. We believe that that's not us. And then who are we? Which is like, we are the focused and harmonious mind. That's our true identity. Right? So very quickly, what we also said is that is our true state, to get to the focused and mastery mind. And at the same time, this is something, a self-discipline, anushasana. This is something that we can cultivate amongst ourselves. Nobody has to tell us, our parents, our friends, or our teachers. This is something, who owns our fingers? Us, right? So who owns our bingo gesture? Ourselves. So that is what yoga is. And then when we do that, what happens is when your mind is focused and harmonious, and that's when we actually get a lot of superpowers within us. Today, whenever we are disturbed or agitated or distracted, we dissipate a lot of energy. We have so much power, and the energy simply gets dissipated. And then we don't feel like we have energy. We don't have enough energy to pursue excellence in our classroom or in our work, in our music practice. Now, the moment your mind is sharpened into the focused and the harmonious mind, we get a lot of energy and we manifest whatever we want. And that's how we become the almighty, all-pervasive, all-knowing. So the God is not there anywhere, right? And we put a lamp there. No, the God is not externalized. The God is there within us. Right? Isn't it so beautiful? The yoga basically teaches us how we can become the infinite power, the almighty, the all-knowing, and all-pervasive. It's such a simple technique. It's a very simple technique. So then what we also talked about is this yoga, the more harmonious and focused that you get into your mind, the more capabilities that you cultivate. It's such a beautiful thing. The thing is, sometimes, somebody told me, I was teaching a camp to some of the college kids, and it was a small workshop. And so it's like, hey, but I also can get my mind not distracted or anything if I use a spirit, like alcohol, right? Use a spirit to get to spirit, right? And then I says like, yeah, that's actually a good way. Somebody says like, I can actually use spirit to get into samadhi, where like the mind is like, very, focused, no agitations. And I'm like, feel like, very happy. But if you look at understand the deeper meaning, when you are drunk, does it enhance your capability? You cannot even barely drive. You cannot even barely drive. So any other tools, props that you use, or you can actually go to a movie. The movie also takes over your brain. You get totally immersed and you feel like you totally lose control of what's happening. Your mind seems to be so much engrossed and focused in the movie. But what it's doing, the movie took control of you. You're like a couch potato. So all these other tools that take control of your mind, seeming to put you in that immersive samadhi, the focus in a state, and you're also in harmony actually sometimes, right? Drink a nice spirit or some of this stuff. But all those things, they actually reduce your capabilities. Yoga is the only one, by systemically, when you train yourself, be aware of your toes and the top of your head, your fingers, and become one with your own self, your mind, you continuously enhance your capabilities. And that's how a Roger Federer is born, a Sachin Tendulkar is born, as a Dhoni is born, and Elon Musk is born, or a Sal Khan. This is, go ahead. Yeah. So this is the only systemic method where you can actually, the more you get more focused and harmonious, the more enhanced capabilities that are going to come in. All the other tools, they basically diminish your capability. Do you want more capability or reduce capability? Shruti? Do you want more capability or less capability? More. So the choice is us, right? And then this is something that is a beautiful picture somebody sent me. And it kind of maps to our, just one second. It kind of maps to our, what we talked about, the bingo gesture. Whenever you're depressed, you're living in the past. Why are you depressed? Because there is some emotion that you remember, something in the past that occurred, and then you bring it back into the present. Oh, something happened. And what if that would happen, right? So you're always remembering about something that was unpleasant in your past. And then that makes you depressed. And if you're anxious, you're worried about something that's not there, but you think that something bad might happen. The yoga is always to live in the present moment. It's this moment. When you are here, be in the moment. And in the moment, the more you live in here, actually the beautiful thing is, when you are in the moment, there is like a lot of things that are happening in the universe. Remember yesterday when you were practicing some meditation, when we were trying to scan for a sound within the room or scan for a sound outside the room. There is like so much happening, right? In each moment, there is like a lot of details to focus on. Every moment is like an infinite. There's so much happening here. Just be aware of your breath. Just be aware of your toes. Be aware of your fingers. Be aware of your stuff. There's like so many things that are happening. And that is so joyful. What is real? Only this moment is real. Right? When we are sitting here, if you're worried about what if COVID is going to come or what if this is going to harm, that is not even real. We deal with it when that happens. So that is the power of yoga, to become infinite, to live in the present moment. The present moment is always joyful. There is nothing happening at the present moment, which is like, you're only with your fingers, your own mind, your own thing. The present moment is always very, very joyful. But then how do we do this? It all looks very interesting. What Patanjali basically said is, it's a very simple way. Don't focus on any Big Bang theory. Do step by step. Follow simple steps. Karmanyatvam parinamanyatve hetuku. And what are the simple steps? So that's where Patanjali said, there are two simple keys on how to get to focused mind and then harmonious mind. One is practice. And the second one is letting go. Don't be worried about an outcome. It's a simple thing. And it's like a nice balance. The two keys to life. One is practice. The other one is letting go. Don't be worried about, I need to get into Stanford, or I need to get into this college, I need to get a good job, and all those things. What did we learn? At least what I learned. I thought when I got a good job, I would be happy forever. But that did not happen. When I went into a job, there were again people. There was again homeworks. I thought I was done with the homework in school. When I went to the job, there were more homeworks. Not only was responsible for my own homework, was responsible for other people's homework. And then a lot of people were not doing their homework, and I was responsible for it. So all these things, we just need to accept it and let them go. We just do our job and then let go. Right? So the practice, but what is a good practice? Patanjali said, the good practice is one that we take it upon ourselves for a long time without interruption. And one that we do it very sincerely, like a devotion. So if you want to get a good grade, the only thing is not about how you got to the grade. Sorry, what grade did you get? What did you do every day? Did I focus on learning? And yesterday night, I was listening to a beautiful talk. And this is so profound for me. What it basically says is, how do we cultivate new behaviors? And what the talk basically said is, knowledge, just by listening or reading, it doesn't actually do anything. Only practice, only by taking an action, doing something. And only that actually creates really what we call as impressions or experiences. Whatever you experience by doing, that is the only one that guides your future action. We can all listen to a lot of talks. We can, read a lot of books. Systematically, there were scientific studies that were done. They don't actually predict whether you're going to do something or not. Only by doing it, only by experiencing what it means, because that creates a memory that powers your action. So the most important thing is practice. Even if it's a small step, only by doing it and getting a feeling of what that actually means, only that determines your future behavior. And the way this body and the mind, that's the reason why I, like as an example, Shruti, is it okay, Ma, if I use you as my partner in some of the examples?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So what it actually is, like, Shruti and we used to have a lot of dialogues about eating veggies is good. We talk about it all the time. but nothing happens. Only when we made a deal at one time, like, when we went to Subway, her favorite Subway sandwich was, it's like chicken and cheese. That's it, right? And then nice bread, right? Chicken and cheese, right? Chicken and cheese, right? And then we used to give a lot of information. We used to show a lot of evidence, like, okay, add some veggies, so the veggies, that made this guy good. Sachin Tendulkar eats veggies, this one, that one, everything. So the only way we started doing is we started making a deal, adding one veggie at a time. First, it was more of a, what is that? Lettuce. So she made a deal with lettuce. And then it's like, lettuce was not bad. And then we started adding some spinach and then and some green peppers. So there was like, finally, we ended up coming to 4 vegetables. But tomatoes, she would never agree to a tomato. Apparently, tomatoes are sassy. What is that? Saucy. What? I don't know. Slimy and saucy. So we basically said, like, okay, just forget about that. But the fact that we were able to put something to an action, only that stayed with us. By telling all these nutrition labels, this thing, nothing happens. So what that means is, if you were to take away something from this camp, pick on 1 or 2 or 3 things, invest the time to practice it. By reading and coming to the camps, nothing is going to happen. Ramakant Garu and Savita Garu, anything that you want to share? You agree?
Eating vegetables is definitely a good thing. But I do think over time, like there were many vegetables I didn't keep growing, but I think over time, as you said, self-realization happens, or you eat in a particular dish in a certain way. It's presented to you in a certain way that where it feels very delicious at that point. And you can't believe, oh my God, this is the same vegetable. So I think not making a big deal. That is also, oh, you don't eat vegetables, you don't eat vegetables, you don't eat, like not making a big deal out of it and saying, okay, just highlighting the benefits of it and saying, hey, you didn't eat vegetables. I think that's what it is. Like I can see even with my daughter Sonia, like over the years, oh my God, like all the food were like, she couldn't even touch each other. When presented, but over years, she's changed, and like when she's gone to somebody's house, she couldn't say no, and she has eaten there, and then realized, this is not that bad. So I think it also presents, I think having an open outlook, like at least trying once. I think that is also a good thing. Practice is good, definitely, but giving the opportunity to try and not saying no to. I think that is the key.
That's a beautiful thing that what Savita Gar said. Number one is we also need to learn to hack our mind. I think that is something that parents and everybody needs to learn, which is like, how do you make it a little bit more presentful, right? And exciting for people. The most important thing is if you're not acting on it, if you're not practicing on it, nothing is going to stick. That's a fundamental rule. Now, the second job is, how do we, if you want to do something good for yourself, like the Kaizen, changing for good, what are the simple things that you want to take on? And how do you make it enjoyable experience for you? Like as an example, like Shruti and we were talking about a deal about how we want her to get into a little bit of workout, or the way I did myself. I used to hate running. And the way I used to do this is, first I used to start with a nice music. And then I used to put an album of some nice beat songs. So the way for me to go to the workout is, for me, the hook was like the listening to the music. So we have to come up with some of these hacks. And then once I went with that, then I was enjoying, then slowly the running became a part of me. Then I no longer needed that music. So whatever requires, like, become a buddy system. Like, for example, if you want to do sun salutations every day, pair up with, Shauryan or somebody. And he's like, hey, how about both of us use this as a teaming effort? Or what Savita Gar was saying, which is like, if you want to make veggies, package them in a very nice way, right? Make it presentable in a way that you want, so that you can actually do it. Whatever works, you just need to make this into your action. And Kaizen, like what we talked about, Japanese used this as a system. And where in 1947 and 48, where they were like completely ruined as a country. But the fact that they as a country, every citizen owned up, this is like, we're going to make commitment to a small change every day, a small good change, incremental improvement. And this country, now Japan is a developed nation. And India, even though we had more resources at the time of independence, we're still developing nation. We're still developing nation. Not because we didn't have knowledge. That was the land that invented Yoga Sutras. That was the land that invented Gitas. Everybody was only listening every day in the morning. You go to any house in India, in the morning, there is like Gita, there is Yoga Sutras, there is all these chants. But it's not leading into an action. Whereas the Japanese and other people, they're taking small steps in action. So that is something that we need to learn from other countries. And then there is some other concept that I actually say is called flow. And I'm going to briefly mention it. So whenever we are actually trying to take a small step, there are two things. You only sign up for about 10% more than the skills that you have. Don't sign up for anything big. And this is systematically proven. It's just like, if you have some capabilities of, I have some physical capacity, just go with like, and I will do 2 sun salutations if that's all you need to do. Challenge yourself for about only 10% and 20%. But this challenge that you sign up is an Anushasan. You do it because it means something positive for you. So the flow state occurs, and this is a transformational model. This was actually invented by Mihaly. And beautiful thing is, he found this in concentration camps. Now, how many of you know the concentration camps, right? In World War II, there was a lot of concentration camps, right?
Same thing happened in Japan and US.
Exactly. But the thing is, a lot of people, even in the concentration camps, they figured out in the most difficult and torturous situations, the people that were there, some of them were able to create joy within themselves. And the way they were doing it is, even though everything else was like so difficult, they were playing a chess game with each other. So they were using what all the resources that they have, and they were challenging themselves by about 10%. And that's how they were able to manufacture joy within themselves. So this is a flow technique, is actually a yoga technique. That's what Patanjali said, Kramanyatvam, small steps. But that step needs to challenge yourself about 10%. Nothing more. If you sign up for something that's beyond, if I were to go and ask like, climb a tree and you don't know it, then it only creates anxiety. So you only focus on about 10 to 20%, right? So what that means is, today when we are actually doing yoga practice, when we do the yoga practice, what I would want all of you to take notice of today in the moment, what is the capability that I have, my body and my physical state. Just push only about 10%. Only 10%. Don't try to do a big back bend or anything. You just go, and it's like, go wherever you're going at the back bend, and then just push about 10%. And that's what you want to take with every practice. And the same thing, if you're actually learning math in the class or music, what you do is you basically look at that moment. Today, my capacity is this. Just challenge yourself to 10%. If you're practicing every day for 10 minutes, see if I can practice it for 11 minutes today. That's all you need to do. And the magic happens, the transformation. But we don't worry about the transformation. Your only job is to, in the moment, where am I right now? Can I give it 10%? And the last thing that I would want to introduce is like what Savita Garu was introducing. There are 2 mindsets that we want to take in our life. One is a growth mindset. The other one is a fixed mindset. And the other thing is also known as a prosperity mindset and a poverty mindset. How many of you read this book from Carolyn Dweck? It's a beautiful book that all of you should read it. It's called the Mindset book. So what it actually, the mindset with the growth mindset actually means is, when you come here, the growth mindset people, they only have a desire to learn. On the contrary, people in the fixed mindset, they want to earn. They're learning something because they want to get somewhere. I want to get a job or I want to get a promotion. And because of that, they want to look smart. They don't have a deep desire to learn, but they just want to, like a resume, right? We prepare the resume. Resume is all about, you want to look smart, right? But if you were to approach the job with like, hey, I want to offer what I have, genuinely know about a job, and then you feel good about this is how I can contribute. That is a growth mindset. The fixed mindset is, how do I look smart? Now, how do I get a job? And then you may get it or you may not get it. And then what happens is, in the growth mindset, people look at challenges as they embrace challenges. If something comes along, growth mindset people, they embrace challenges. I want to conquer this challenge. And then and they always say yes, whether it's a challenge, whether there are obstacles, and then whether you want to put an effort. Because you are driven by your sincere effort to learn, get better for yourself. And then you also look at criticism. If somebody says like, you're not doing good, the growth mindset people, oh, give me the criticism. I want to learn where I could improve. And the last thing is the success of others. If somebody is succeeding, growth mindset people will appreciate enjoy other people's success and take inspiration. And otherwise, if the mindset that we have sometimes, right? If somebody got a big prize and we always look for poking holes, that guy might have taken a shortcut. So the mindset that we need to do is, the reason why we are taking on this path is because we have a deep desire to learn and we want to get better all by ourselves. We don't have to look smart. And we don't have to worry about earning. And then the challenges come in, which is like, challenge is an opportunity for me to increase my capacity. If I don't have a challenge, then how do I grow? Right? Only because there is a challenge. And if there are obstacles come in, then you basically like, take a solution. Without the obstacle, how do I come up with new solutions? Right? And then focus on teamwork, enjoy the success of others. And the most important thing is the fixed mindset people. We see this in some of the countries. People are always thinking, it's like, do I have to put an effort? Why can't I win a lotto? And then people are looking for horoscopes. Every day morning, they look at zodiac signs. Oh, today, I might get some of this stuff. In the growth mindset, nobody cares about what does your horoscope mean? Where are you born? All those things, because you believe that you can create the world of your own choosing. See, in so many people, actually, when I went to India recently, I went to every house looked different than what it was. And the reason is somebody said like, something bad is happening. So somebody says like, change your window, change your door, changes stuff. The houses are, every time I go, they are exactly the same. The house looks different. Because they believe that the house, by changing windows and the doors, or by doing some chanting, some mantras, and the priest, they're going to create a better thing. If they're unhealthy, what do they need to do? Eat well, do some workout, and that's how they get healthy. How do they? By changing the windows, I never could understand it. By changing windows, they thought that they will get healthy. Or by chanting some mantras. Right? Actually, chanting mantras could help in a different way. It helps, a little bit of a focused mind. But they let a priest chant the mantra. They don't even chant themselves, right? And then they look for a timer of 30 minutes. And then it is like, okay, is the chanting done? And the priest is happy because he gets some 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees. And they are where they are. So this philosophy, the interesting thing is, these are all yoga philosophies. It is revealed to Karl and Dweck, who is a professor in Stanford, Mihaly in Poland, who lived in the concentration camp, Kaizen to the Japanese people. So all the humans realize the same yoga truth. Isn't it so beautiful? Just like the seven music alphabets. Everybody came up with the same 7 notes. Somebody called it do, re, mi, or whatever, and somebody says sa, re, ga, ma, and then this stuff. So the truth is always universal in the oneness. So with that, so should we all commit to a practice?
Sure.
And what are we going to do in the practice today? 10%. Okay. And we're going to build on that. And we're going to do the 10%. We're just going to commit to giving our best. Forget about anything. Yeah. Kaizen. Let's do Kaizen. Okay. Chalo. Anything on the phone? Anything, Savita Garu or anybody? Spotlight. Okay. Chalo. Let's get. Okay, everybody stand up. Take our positions. Ramakant Garu, can you see us?
Yeah, we are able to see you. Yeah. Like yesterday, the view is good.
Okay. So everybody come to the center of the mat, heels and toes touching together. Pranav, I'm going to watch your feet today. Most of the time, they need to be heels and toes touching together. Yeah, and that's what we're going to sign up. Right? Today.
Maybe you could face this way to see under.
Yeah, let me just face this way.
So the commitment for you, all of us make it sankalpa for what is the 10% for us today. So for Pranav, the whole focus is to keep your heels and toes touching together, right? All the other things, you can ignore it, but just that one, right? So let's start with some of the basic stretching. So we'll start with feet rotation, balance on your left foot. And then on the side. And then there's to write some alphabets. Okay. Now I feel like I have toes. Until now, I did not know that I had toes. Right? Okay, let's do it on the other side. Balance on your right leg. Who can write better with right toe? Victor? Shaurya, can you write?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay, let's do this. Let's write A. Okay, good. Now we'll practice a little bit of soccer. Okay, balance on your left leg. Try to kick your soccer ball. Does anyone play soccer? Yeah.
That's some serious soccer champs.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's awesome. So now let's do a full swing. Do it on the other side. Sorry. Okay. Big kick. Now bring your heels and toes touching together. Pull on your knees. And then let's do knee rotation. What do we say? You can mess with the gods, but not with your knees. Exactly. Now the other side, and then clockwise. Now take a small step apart, 2 feet apart. That's how you jump. That's cool. And then let's put our hands on waist. And then let's do hip rotation. Make big circles.
On the
other side. Actually, the interesting thing is that hip flexibility supports your back in a big way. I'll stretch our hands. So yoga is always about aligning with our fingers and then up. So now move left to right.
Now let's do up and down, shoulders. Good. Now bring your heels and toes touching together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to synchronize our eye gaze with the neck movement. We do some neck rotations. And this helps our concentration. Just focus on your eye gaze. Neck simply follows with it. And then we're going to breathe when we move away from the body. We inhale when we move away from the body. And then we exhale when we come to the center. Let's do the side rotations. We begin. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the center. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the center. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the center. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the center. Now let's do up and down. Inhale to the back. Exhale to the center. Inhale to the back. Exhale to the center. I will do the full neck rotations. Tuck your chin to the chest. And while inhaling, you go up and exhale, come down. And make sure that you're looking at all around the room. And begin, inhale. The back wall, the corner walls. The slower, the better. Finish this round and do it on the other side. Finish the round. That's good. Now we'll practice Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi is the victorious breath. It's almost like when you're on a beach, you need to almost, the sound of your breaths should sound like the sound of the ocean, right? That's a Ujjayi breath. So breathe from the back of the throat and let's use our hands. Ready, begin, inhale. Elbow straight, fingers squished. Stretch up and hold. Exhale. I'm the only one who is making the sound of the ocean, right? So breathe for about 6 counts. And the other thing is synchronize your breath with your hand, okay? And feel like you're breathing from your rib cage. Ready, begin, inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Fingers together, be aware of the fingers. Exhale. Now let's do it on the side. Okay, Pranam, focus your attention. We begin, inhale. Glue your palms together, elbows straight. Stretch up and reach the sky. Exhale. Inhale. Glue the palms together, stretch up, reach the sky. Exhale. More head, toes touching together. Inhale. Stretch up, reach the sky. Exhale. Now we inhale from the front, exhale from the side while rotating our breasts. Ready to begin? We can also stagger each other, right? Somebody comes to the front, somebody comes to the back, so that way we don't, some we can come to the front, yeah, that way we can actually do more. Ready? So begin. Begin, inhale. Exhale. Now inhale from the side and exhale from the front. That's cool. So now these techniques are invented, the asanas, and this is invented to again get back to this bingo. So what you have done so much is by aligning our heels and toes touching together, the breath and squishing our fingers and reaching to the sky, elbows this. So it is more to be aware of our own body. And this is how we build the focused mind and the mastery of the mind. So this is a very well designed asanas, and the breathing is only to bring the harness, the power of the brain. So now we're going to move into some of the asanas. Okay. So let's again, when we are doing the asana, the two things is the practice, give ourselves 10%, but be aware of your toes. If I were to give anyone attention, pay attention to your toes, pay attention to your fingers, and pay attention to your breath. Right? So everybody come to the top of the mat. Let's start with sun salutations. You can actually face that side. Yeah. To begin, everybody, let's do step by step. Inka.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready, everybody? Heels and toes touching together. Step 1, inhale. Step 2, elbows down. Step 3, back bend, elbows straight. Fix your eye gaze to the tip of the fingers and follow along. Step 4, stomach sucked in, forward bend. Step 5, half lunge to the right knee down, right toes pointed, look up. Hold your breath, get into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin down and glide. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. In the downward dog, again, feel your weight evenly spread across all the fingers. And try to press your heels into the mat. Inhale, half lunge to the left knee down, left toes pointed, look up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, come to the center, hands by your side. So, and again, pay attention to my instruction, pay attention to those details. And again, this entire job is to not only the physical well-being, but it's to harness the power of the mind. To begin, we'll do it on the side. Inhale. Exhale, elbows down. Inhale, back bend, elbows straight, fix your eye gaze to the tip of the fingers. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half lunge to the left. Left knee down, left toes pointed.
But the what? It's called what's while running. This is a stance you use while running.
But with toes pointed. Pointed toes. Look up. Hold, get into plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin down and glide. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Feel the weight evenly spread. Inhale, half lunge to the right. Right knee down, right toes pointed. Pronoun toes pointed. Toes pointed. Toes. Toes pointed. That toes pointed. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pointed. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, come to the center. Hands by your side. Okay. Now we're going to do the half moon posture. Half moon is where we bend our spine sideways. Right? You know this? Yeah? Okay, we can actually stagger again. Some can come to the front. Yeah, then someone's going to come to the front. Yeah? Then what we do is bring our hands up. Elbows straight, glue your palms together. And inhale, move to the right, hips to the left. Exhale to the center. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the center. So after every sun salutation, doing this half moon, what it does is now we have actually moved our spine in all different directions, forward, backward, and the sideways. Keeping the spine healthy is the most important thing that we can do. And in fact, in the yogic system, we believe that the spine is the center of the universe. We don't know where the universe began or end, right? So what is center for us is our perception of the universe, and the spine is the perception. So keeping our spine healthy, it allows us to tune to the universe much better, right? So that's why we do this. So we'll do sun salutations one more time. And when you're doing it, this time I want to add one more small detail to it. When you're doing the back bend, in the direction of the movement, try to rotate your palms and the wrists. If I'm coming down, try to do this. So this also adds a little bit more of an aesthetic sense, but it also works on your wrist. So when you're doing the back bend, again, try to do this. And when you're coming down, do this, right? And then there is another variation. You can practice a little bit more. You can also do the back bend. The way you achieve depth in the back bend is your body follows where your dristy is. So that's the reason why we're saying lock your eye gaze to the tip of the fingers and let the fingers guide the movement. Right? You don't care for how far you're doing. You're only focusing on the behavior, not the outcome. Right? There is another way you can also do it. You can either use this. This actually allows you to get a lot more one-pointedness. There is another way you can do it. You can interlace your fingers, and you can also do it like this. Right? But let's all practice one way, and then you can experiment with other ways. Everybody come to the top of the mat, heels and toes touching together. Face that, because we are doing some salutations. Look, face this way. Yeah. And everybody, step one, inhale. Step two, elbows down. Step three, back bend. Step four, forward bend. Inhale, half lunge to the right. Right knee down, right toes pointed. Hold your breath, get into plank. Straight planks. Mohit, straight plank. Oh. Plank, plank. Oh. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, half lunge to the left. Left knee down, left toes pointed. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, hands to the center. And let's continue with the posture. Knees, heels and toes touching together and up. Elbows down, exhale. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half lunge to the left. Left knee down, left toes pointed. Hold, get into plank. Plank, straight. Yeah. Exhale, knees, chest, chin down. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, half lunge to the right, right knee down, right toes pointed. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, come to the center, keep your hands here. And then from here, we do half move. Okay. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the center. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the center. Hands by side. So we call this as a sun-moon flow. Sun salutations and half moon. So we basically, it's like continuously, you can actually do the sun salutations. And then after you finish on both the right and left, you can also do sideways, right? So that is a sun-moon flow. So this is what I realized from my experiential proof, that this is the most energizing and relaxing sequence that you can do. If you only have 10 minutes, all you can do is do sun salutation flows and a half moon. You know, like what you were saying yesterday, right? Yoga is the one that both energizes and relaxes at the same time. So this is something that we can probably take it to commit. It doesn't really take. Only if you can master this sun salutation and the sun moon flow, I think that's all you can do sometimes. Okay, now let's do some of the leg strengthening postures. Awkward pose. Take a big step about 4 inches apart. Your shoulders spread, right? Or 4 feet apart. And then bring your hands parallel to the ground. Fingers squished. And again, I don't want to see any sleepy fingers. These fingers need to be fully squished, elbow straight, so that when somebody comes here, there's so much energy that's radiating to it. And then from here, we get into the beautiful chair. And the yoga means joyful. We stay here for a long time. How do we know we're going to stay here for a long time? Like Shauryan, we're always smiling, right? Smiling. What a beautiful posture. How long do you want to be here? Forever. Exactly. This is the yoga. You'll find it. Okay. But cool, 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 cool. And then release. It feels nice, right? Keep your hands there. And elbow straight, fingers squished. And from here, let's stand up on our toes. Keep your hands there. Shruti, your hands are not parallel to the ground. And how long do you want to stay here? Samhita? Forever, exactly. Exactly. Now, while keeping your heels there, sit up. Keep your hands there. Keep your hands there. Now, this is the most beautiful posture, right? So everybody, do I see a smile? Yes. And release. Keep your hands there. Keep your hands there. Now, gently lift your heels up. Bring your knees together. Now, keep your spines straight, like an elevator ride. Slowly come down. Smile. Exactly. Smile. And then keep yourself balanced. When somebody sees from the side, you look like a perfect box. Perfect box. Keep your hands there. And then slowly, like an elevator ride, hand up. Release. It was no good, right? Okay. Everybody come back to yoga. Heels and toes setting together. Shruti. We'll do one more balancing posture. Right? One more stretching. We'll do Garudasana, eagle posture. Lift your hands up. Bring your right elbow and your left elbow. Interlace your fingers. And pull your elbows down. It opens up all your shoulder joints. Pull your elbows down. If you can also Bring your hands in Namaskar Mudra. Now sit down. Now while balancing on your left leg, lift your right leg as high as possible. Twist it. Twist it around your left calf. And focus your eye gaze at one point. Sorry, where is the smile? Okay, good. Stay here. And when you are here, make sure that your toes are pointed down. Right? Release. So in each posture, in every moment, there's so many details. So that's how we're bringing our mind's focus skills. Now let's do the other side. Lift your hands up. And this time, bring your left elbow under your right elbow. Pull your elbows down, opening up the shoulder joints. Sit down. Now this time, while balancing on your right leg, lift your left leg as high as possible. Twist it around your right hand. Make sure that left big toe is pointed down. Sit down. If you're losing balance, rely on your breath. Take a deep breath and exhale. Release. Beautiful postures, right? Should we open the door? I think that might be better, right?
For air, please.
Huh?
Wait for air.
Yeah. Now, everyone, let's actually, I'm going to give a nice relaxation capsule. Let's take a deep breath. Feels so good, right? Let's do one more time. Inhale. Inhale. Okay, good. Now we're going to do the second set of the styling series is about building our cardio strength while improving our balance, right? Anytime when you're doing a balance, that works on your mind. It improves your focus and the concentration. So whenever, one stand balance, these are all systematically designed to improve our mind capability and the physical well-being. So we're going to do with our favorite Nataraja posture. Everybody come to the top of the mat. I will do it step by step. Heels and toes touching together. Step one, bring your right hand palm facing up in front of you as if you're holding money. Pranav, how much money do you have in your palm? A lot. Millions. Millions, okay. So don't ever drop it, okay? Bring it to the side. And then grab your right foot at the ankle from inside. Perfect. From inside, okay? So that it's straight. You don't need to twist it because the money already, no, grab it.
Earlier you were twisting, which was now it's more easy.
So because before, before when you twisted, the money already fell down, right? So you need to come down and then hold it and then bring your two knees together. And once you're here, lift your left hand up. Again, elbow straight, fingers squished, reach the sky. Reach the sky. And once you're comfortable here, then slowly kick and look straight through your fingers. Look straight through your middle finger. Kick and stretch. 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 So that is a posture. This is what is known as Nataraja posture. When you do it with the focus, it's not about how much deep that you went. It's all about the details. Kicking and stretching where you're looking. You almost feel like you own the entire universe, like Shiva. Right? Now let's do it on the other side. Now bring your left hand in front of you, palm facing up, as if you're holding the money, the millions. Bring it to the left. Now this time, grab your left foot at the ankle from inside. At the ankle. At the ankle. Because that gives you the, and then make sure that the toes are pointed because the toes are pointed in the direction of the kick. Lift your right hand up.
Again, elbows straight, fingers squished, reach the sky. Bring your two elbows, two knees together. Once you're there, then slowly come down. Kick and stretch. I'm not looking down. I'm looking straight through the middle finger. The nail. Kick and stretch. Kick and stretch. Kick and stretch. Release. Feels good, right? So this is the real powerful posture. You want to do it one more time? Yeah. You will do it? Yeah. Okay, everybody. Heels and toes touching together. Want to turn that side or no? So this face mohe. Yeah. Heels and toes touching together. Pranayama. Okay. Now bring your right hand palm and facing in front of you. Bring it to the side. Grab the right foot from inside at the ankle. Now bring your two knees together. No, you grab from the outside.
You do it from this.
That's a perfect grab.
You have it.
But grab it at the ankle. Grab it at the ankle. Ankle. Because that gives you a firmer grip. Yeah. When you grab it at the foot, it slips. Yeah. So when you grab it at the ankle, that's when you have a firmer grip. Yeah. Right? And lift your left hand up. First stay here. Yoga is a step by step. You know, it's not about the final expression. Once you're here, take a deep breath and stretch up. And kick and stretch forward. Look straight through your fingers. Kick and stretch. 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 The beautiful thing is, if you look down, you're going to fall down. Yeah. Right? If you look at this nail, more balance is coming. Exactly. So this is the thing. Yoga has so many of these finer details. The technique. So it's all about us getting control of our own body. There's so many details, right? And then let's do it on the other side. Bring your left hand palm facing in front of you. Bring it to the side. The money should not drop. Grab the left foot at the ankle. Have a firm grip. Have a firm grip. Again, you're grabbing it from outside for now. And grab it at the ankle. At the ankle. So firm grip. Lift your right hand up. Stretch up. And this time when you're doing, first kick and stretch. Kick and stretch. Kick and stretch. Kick and stretch. Look straight through the middle fingernail. Kick and stretch. Kick and stretch. Kick and stretch. Kick and stretch. Yes. See? So this is, and then what you're doing is your mind, you're making an intention. Even when you're grabbing it, the small detail like pointing the toes in the direction of the kick, it basically gives program the action. So when you're doing a kick, you're like this. So because it's actually going that side. If you don't, if this toe is like really loose, the mind is not noticing that that's where you want to go. So we are actually training the power of the mind in the direction that you want to go, right? And the same thing when you're actually doing it, you're actually training the mind to like, this is where I want to do. So this is all about, yoga is all about training your brain. Now, let's do one more balancing. Come to the back of the mat, everybody. Heels and toes touching together. Now we'll do a balancing stick. Everybody raise your hands. Interlace your fingers. Release your index finger, like a pointed, the focus. And make sure that your hands are glued to the ears. Hands never come off the ears, right? Glue them. And then take a big step, about 4 feet apart, minimum. And once you're here, take a deep breath and reach up, elbows straight, pointed fingers. And slowly, while exhaling, come down. Lift your left leg up. Look straight through the pointed finger. Look straight. And ears and hands are glued together. They're never separate. And release. So you make a perfect T into the side. See, isn't the system designed so well? Yeah. Right? Now, come to that. Now, let's do it on the other side. Lift your hands up.
Again, elbow straight, interlace your fingers, release your index finger as if you're reaching the sky. Your hands are glued to your ears, and then take a big step, at least 4 feet. Now take a deep breath and reach the sky. And while exhaling, slowly come down. Lift your right leg up, right toes pointed, look straight through your pointed fingers. You make a perfect T. You make a perfect T. And release. And again, the technique is to not let your hands separate from your ears, right? So that's how we build more concentration in the power. Okay, now that's the second set. It's the balancing thing. Now let's take it deep inhale. Inhale. Now let's do triangle. Now take a big step, 4 feet apart. Hands parallel to the ground. Hands parallel to the ground. Again, elbow straight, fingers squished. Every time you're there, you're in full control of all the edges, the toes, the fingers. And then turn your right foot to the right. And keep your spine straight. And sit down until your right thigh becomes parallel to the ground. If you're too tall, that means you need to take a bigger step. Mohit, you need to take a bigger step, right? Sit down until your right thigh becomes parallel to the ground. And once you're there, just rotate your arms. Right hand down, left hand up. Look straight through your left hand fingers. And stay here and breathe. Once you're comfortable, bring your right hand palm to the floor and bring your left hand over your left ear. Over the ear. Yeah. And you make a perfect shape here. You're in one perfect line on your entire left side. And release. And you release. Right? Now let's do it on the side. Turn your left foot to the left. Sit down until your left thigh becomes parallel to the ground. And gently rotate your arms. Left hand down, right hand up. Shift your eye gaze to the right hand fingers. And then once you're comfortable here, gently rest your left hand palm on the floor and bring your right hand over your right ear. And you make a perfect line, one straight line on the right side. Release. Center. Deep breath. So this is called in the yoga, sometimes this is called the peak of the mountain, this triangle posture, right? So one other thing that I would demonstrate here is when you get to the final expression, the focus, you don't have to be there, but the focus should be so that I'm making a perfect triangle. This is the triangle, right? And then when I'm here, and again, this is a triangle. When I'm doing it, this entire left side from the left hand to the left leg is in one straight line. One straight line. It's not lifted up, right? If it's lifted up, that means you need to sit down. You need to sit down. You need to sit down. Sit down, right? So, but you don't have to work on the final thing, but that's an intention that you make, right? Should we do it one more time? Yeah. Right? Everybody, take a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. That's a J triangle posture, right? Okay, now let's make a big step. 4 feet apart. Hands parallel to the ground. Hands parallel to the ground. Okay, fingers away. Edges. Now turn your right foot to the right. Sit down until your right thigh becomes parallel to the ground. Once you're comfortable here, rotate your arms. Right hand down, left hand up. Once you're comfortable, gently rest your right hand palm down and then bring your Perfect, Samhita. Perfect. And release. Now let's go to the other side. Now turn your left foot to the left side. Keep your hands there. Now sit down until your left thigh becomes parallel to the ground. And once you are comfortable here, left hand down, right hand up. And once you're comfortable, bring your left hand palm down, bring your right hand over your right ear, and make sure that you're in one straight line. Release. Come to the center. And we have 2 more postures and we're done for this standing series. Now let's take a deep breath and exhale. One more time, inhale. Now we're going to do a forward bend. This actually works on your kidney health and it stretches the back of your spine, right? So come to the back of the mat. Everybody lift your hands up. Interlace, glue your palms together. If you're right-handed, see if you can, glue your entire palms together. If you're right-handed, see if you can cross your left thumb over your right thumb. We always do the right thumb over the left thumb. See if you can cross the left thumb over your right thumb. And then take a big step. Please 4 feet apart. And then tuck your chin to the chest to stimulate your thyroid. Take a deep breath. Exhale and slowly come forward until your forehead touches the knee. If you need to separate your hands, you can do that, but your forehead must touch the knee. If you also have to bend your knee to touch your forehead, you can also do that. Feel the back stretching and also energizing and stretching your kidneys for optimum kidney health. And slowly come back the way you entered the posture. Release. Now we'll do it on the other side. Lift your hands up. Now take a big step with your left leg. Inhale. Tuck your chin to the chest and slowly come down. Slowly come down until your forehead touches the knee. Again, if you need to separate your hands, you can do that. If you need to bend your knee, that's fine. You can feel the deep stretch from the back. And slowly release. And back to the center. Let's do the last posture for the standing series. What's our favorite posture for the last one? The tree, exactly. After that, maybe we'll go climb. Yeah? Okay, let's do that. Okay, everybody come to the Tadasana, feet and toes touching together, hands by your side. Now, while balancing on your left leg, lift your right leg as high as possible and press into your left thigh as high as possible. Press into your left thigh. And then keep your spine straight. Bring your 2 hands to the center of the chest. And once you're comfortable here, lift your 2 hands up, elbows straight, glue your palms together. And elbows straight, glue your palms together. Fix your eye gaze at one point in front of you. Fix your eye gaze at one point in front of you. And if you can, with that focused mind, gently close your eyes. So that's also a measure of how much focus you are. Again, take control of it. Every day is different, but just being aware of it, it actually helps. Right? Now let's do it on the other side. Now balance in your right leg. Now lift your left leg as high as possible, pressing your right thigh. Bring your two hands to the center of the chest. Now lift your two hands up, elbows straight, glue your palms together. If you're right-handed, see if you can cross your left thumb over your right thumb. And fix your eye gaze at one point in front of you. And while in yoga, see if you can gently close your eyes. That's good. Everybody, now come to Tadasana. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Just gently scan your body from the toes to the top of the head. Just be aware of vibrations. The toes, the feet, ankle, shin, knees, thighs, waist, stomach, lower back, chest, upper back, right hand palm, elbow, right shoulder, left palm, elbow, left shoulder, neck, face, right cheek, left cheek, right eye, left hand, strength of the eyebrows, forehead, back of the head, top of the head, from the top of the head to the toes. Deep breath and exhale. So that concludes our standing series. How about we take a 5 to 7 minute break? Feel free to go out. Then we'll come back and we'll do a little bit of session. And then we'll get back into the floor series. Does that sound good? Yeah, awesome.
What I learned the other day, Ramakanji's, I saw some yogic pictures of Ramakanji. Unbelievable. Like, Ramakanji is no shorter than Baba Ramdev. I saw his Nauli. And Ramakanji, can you show them? Anyway, is there any way that you can show your pictures of Nauli or other things? Can you share your screen if they are there?
Yeah, but this is on a different screen. So yeah, definitely. We have today, tomorrow, we will show it sometime.
I see. And then what you see is Shrija right next to Ramakanji. And she's we call her as our little Krishna. Why is he little Krishna? Right? That's very true. Did you do yoga with us today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Cool. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the most important topic in our yogic system. It's called Astanga yoga. And in fact, this is the most systemic method that was ever designed, and how we can cultivate the bingo, the focused and the harmonious mind, so that we can achieve the infinite powers within us. So before that, any comments that anybody would want to share? Savita Garu, how was the yoga today? Feels different?
No, it's same for me. I mean, I like this routine. Obviously, I've included in my practice. Yes.
Good. So
it's a bit hard to do with a full stomach.
So now let's focus on Ashtavangani. Ashta means 8. Angani means limbs. The 8 limb system. The 8 limbs yogic system. So yoga is not just about doing postures. In fact, out of the 195 or 196 Yoga Sutras, only 3 are given to asanas. Only 3, tiny little. And then 6 are given to pranayama, the breathing. So that means breathing is twice as important as asanas. Everything else is all about how do we conduct ourselves to get ourselves into the focus and harmonious mind. So what we are going to talk about now, or what we're going to study now, is the most important dimension of yoga. So let's get to it. What is Ashtavangani, the 8 limbs of the yoga? It's like a tree that we can actually grow the tree with amongst ourselves. It has 8 limbs. And the why it's called as 8 limbs, not 8 steps. It's not a progression. It's like, if you look at our body, we have all the limbs, right? So the way the body grows is, it's not like they don't grow one step after the other. Like the divine did not say, it's like, okay, Shruti, first let me grow your legs, and then I'm going to put hands on top of it, and then grow my stomach and grow my face. So everything grows synchronously. So when we are practicing yoga, every day we are practicing all the 8 limbs together, that like the tree, the trunk and the leaves and the branches, everything, that how they synchronously grow together. That's how we need to build our cosmic and yogic body. So now, what is the benefits of this 8-limbed yoga, the yogic system? What Patanjali said is, Yoganga Anusthana, those who follow this 8-limbed yoga practice, who make that as their own way of life, they get 3 benefits, 3 superpowers, the superpowers. The first one is Ashuddhi Kshaye. All the impurities. What is asat? The asat is our disturbed mind, no balance in our life. Like, sometimes our heels and toes don't listen to it. We're always distracted. All those impurities will be gone. Ashuddhi Kshaye, impurities will be gone. Because that is not truth. The truth doesn't have any place. And then the sat, jnana deeptihi, we get the right knowledge and the wisdom and the brilliance that shines forth. Jnana deeptihi, aviveka kyatehe, ultimately results in the right perception. The viveka kyate. Kyate is one of the most widely used words in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. That's the only word that is repeated the most. Kyate is the right perception of the knowledge. And viveka kyate, the viveka, what is right and what is wrong, what is untruth and what is truth, what is donut versus what is yoga, right? So those are the superpowers. And what are the 8 limbs? Patanjali defined as, you can actually see that on the picture, Yama, Niyama. The first one is the most important thing. These are our way of life. How do we want to live? Number 1, Yama is like, how do we want to conduct ourselves towards others? Niyama is like, how do we conduct ourselves? In fact, without those 2, none of the other stuff matters. It's like the foundation. If you look at our yogic body, I refer to this as 2 legs, Yamas and Niyamas, and we're going to study about that. And then the 3rd limb is asana, what we did. And the reason why is like, most of the time, when you want to do focused mind, your body doesn't support. Body is always the obstacle. So that's why asanas were invented, so that the body steps out of the way. Otherwise, most of the time we are fidgeting with our legs and this and that. So asanas were invented so that we gain control of our body. Next, pranayama. Pranayama is to gain control of our breath. Then pratyahara. Ahara means consumption. We are always indulging in all kinds of gratification. We want to touch something. We want to see something. We want to taste something. Pratyahara is to gain mastery over sensory. Otherwise, what happens is, if you don't have mastery over the senses, then the donors are taking control of us. So we need to gain control of the senses, the pratyahara. Then dharana, focus. How do we gain focus? One-pointedness, concentration. Dhyana is meditative mind. And samadhi. Samadhi is like the ultimate dhyana that results where you don't even believe that you exist. How many of you watched the movie, Dhoni's movie? Right? When Dhoni, said one of the things, when he's actually, what is that shot? It's called the helicopter shot. It's like when he's doing it, There is no Dhoni. He's not aware of himself. He's only the ball comes in, he's just swinging it. So that's a samadhi, immersion. So that's the ultimate ekagra, ultimate one-pointedness, where you don't exist, only the point that you're trying to do. That's what Roger Federer also does. So it's a symmetric, these 8 limbs, Yama, Niyama, body control, breath control, sensory control, and then focus and concentration and the meditation and immersion. The 8 limbs are what we are made of. But what we see is we think that on our body is nothing but legs and feet and touch and mouth. But that is only the means that are given so that we actually reveal our true cosmic body, the yogic body of these 8 limbs. Right? So this is what we're trying to do. So now let's actually look at the most important thing. What are the first 2 powers? Yama and Niyama. In fact, this is my most favorite aspect of Yoga Sutra study. So the thing is, all of us need to cultivate these superpowers. Yama is our way of living towards the society. There are 5 principles, how we conduct towards others. First starts with ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence. And the second one is satya, means truthful. There is a satya plank over there, right, by the tree. And then the third one is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means brahme charati iti brahmacharya. What it actually means is always engaging in higher thought. We want to seek the right knowledge. We want to seek the right experience. Most often, not indulge in mundane, low-level thoughts. This is sometimes called, one of the gurus that I learned Yoga Sutras from. It says like Shudra Buddhi, the low-level, engagement, right? Which is like, so that's, but brahmacharya is like always engaging in satsang, and contemplating on the higher truth, brahmacharati. And then asteya, non-stealing. Don't steal other people's ideas or any possessions. What is not ours should not be ours. We only are entitled to what rightfully belongs to us. And then the last one is aparigraha. Don't have this compulsive desire to own more things. I want to get 2 bungalows, 2 cars, 3 things. There's always this greed. Because somebody's greed is going to affect somebody else. It's going to create violence for others. Right? When I went to Mumbai the other day, actually about 2 years ago, I went and saw a building. It was like, apparently that's worth $1.5 billion, US dollars. It's like a full stack. And this dude owns 64 bedrooms. And I always wondered whether this guy is going to sleep, 15 minutes in each one of the bedrooms. Then what I realized, he cannot even sleep for 8 hours every day. Right? So these are yamas. These are universal human values that everybody on the path of yoga journey needs to cultivate. And why this is important? But what Patanjali revealed is, we don't even find this. By following these principles, we actually build more superpowers. And he revealed some of these superpowers. So what you see is people who are on the path of ahimsa, people who practice non-violence. In their surroundings, they influence people around them also to give up violence. And in fact, they could even influence the nature. So who are some of the examples of people that followed non-violence? Gandhi, perfect. No, the dude over there. Yeah. And some other people? Martin Luther King, exactly. Lincoln, exactly. Buddha, Mahavir, Jain. There was a saying that Mahavir was so much steadfast in his practice of non-violence. When he was walking, even the thorns would actually bend down. Right? There was this beautiful story of Buddha. And there was this demon, or the bad guy. No, not demon, everybody, all of it. So there's a bad guy. His name is Anguli Malika. And he has this beautiful story. His name is Anguli, means finger, Malika. So what his famous secret is, whoever comes in, he would chop off their fingers. He's very famous for that, infamous for that. Everybody used to be so petrified of him. And then he heard about this Buddha. who doesn't have any fear, who is always smiling and joyful. Then Angulimala is like, who is this dude? Let me go scare him. He goes to Buddha. And it's like, Buddha is like looking at him and he says like, do you know who I am? And so it's like, yeah. And it's like, I'm going to chop off your fingers. Buddha simply looked at him with the same samatvam yoga uchate. It's like no wavering of anything, in harmony. And this Angulimalika looked in his eyes. He was scared first time. Because all the time, whoever he goes in, everybody was shaking and petrified. So he was like, exercising his control. For the first time, this other guy felt fear. And then he went and prostrated to Buddha. He became one of his greatest disciples. So we may not really know immediately whether this is going to affect or not, because yoga is not like a medicine. You take a Advil and then the pain goes away, only for the temporary. Yoga is not something that you pop like an Advil. What did we say? Sato dirgha kala. Like Kaizen. Small change. Every day you invest, and then it results in a transformation. That's what Gandhi did. The Ahimsa, the Buddha. It did Gandhi get independence in one day? No. It took about 10 to 15 years. But by the time they did it, or Martin Luther King, they were able to change mindsets. When they did it, initially, I've heard this story. In Indian freedom struggle, there was this big milestone that was known as salt satyagraha. They were making salt just to protest against the British, because British were importing salt and allowing everybody to pay taxes, which is an unfair practice. When Gandhi wanted to make their own salt from the sea, you know how many people showed up? Less than 30. But did he give up? No. He looked at the Kaizen. One small step, and that created a movement. Right? So that is the power of ahimsa. And I think some of you may know one of my favorite stories. Does anybody remember my story at the Eiffel Tower? Huh? So, okay, I'll tell you a little bit of my own power of non-violence. A little bit. I'm not. So one thing, I used to have this practice where wherever I went in the cities, I used to wanted to do morning yoga practice right next to the famous landmarks. I did yoga practice on the Chain Bridge in Budapest and all the different landmarks. So one day we went to Paris with Shruti. In the morning, I wanted to do my yoga practice right next to Eiffel Tower. There's some beautiful gardens. So I was doing my yoga practice. I went there at 5 o'clock and then I was doing, and then there was also back then, there was this new iPhone. And I did it. And then finally I was in Shavasana. And then I opened my eyes. There were like 8 guns pointed at me. 8 guns, all the cops, they were like pointing their guns at me. They thought that because I was in my Vajrasana and standing, they thought, I was one of the, probably somebody is trying to do something to the Eiffel Tower. So they put it. And when I opened my eyes, I was just smiling. And I was like, hey, I'm just doing yoga. And if I had did a little bit of drama, what would have happened? This Yoga Sutra class would have been done by Shruti. right? Or somebody else. But usually, when you are established in harmony, you don't react to things. Even if somebody doing some kind of a main thing, you don't really react. That's how non-violence actually gives power. So that is the first superpower that Patanjali revealed for us. All of us have the capability to eradicate violence in the world. All of us. But for that, we have to establish in non-violence. That's the first thing. And violence doesn't mean just boxing. It says in your thoughts, in your actions, in your words. Always our words needs to be sweet, something that needs to be, pleasing. Even if I'm correcting somebody, teaching them, it has to be satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. It needs to be done in a very pyar se. Right? So even if I don't do any fighting or any other stuff, but even if I'm trying to think of any violent thoughts in your mind, that also dissipates energy from you. That's how you become agitated, disturbed, or one of those three fingers come to dominate you. So this is the first one that we can practice. And I know that all of you are already doing that for the most part. So that's why we are yogi. What we do on the mat doesn't really matter. What we do with our way of life. And then the second one is in the Yama is Satya, truthful. And again, being truthful in your words and your thoughts and your actions, there is a superpower that is revealed for us. Now, from that truthfulness, whatever you wish, it actually happens. It comes true. Whatever you wish, it actually comes true. And this is what we used to listen in the older story, right? All these saints, they used to say like, you're going to get this, you're going to get this. Because they're established in truth, whatever they wish, it comes true. But this one, being truthful and the power to manifest whatever you think, is actually a big responsibility. It's a power, but it's a big responsibility. What does it mean? Particularly for all the kids here. Because most of the time, you're established in truth. So what that means is you always have to think positively for yourself and for the people around you. Because if you think that I may not win this competition, what happens? If you're established in truth, you're not going to win this competition. I may not be able to study well, or I may not be able to do well on this exam. If you're truthful, it's not going to happen. So it's a big responsibility, being truthful. Being truthful is only half, 50%. Now cultivating a habit of growth mindset, being positive for ourselves and for the people around us is actually the way you can actually conceive that. Any questions or comments on the truthfulness? Did you ever see this happen, manifest for you? As you practice more truth, whatever you wish suddenly is happening. It's happening. Do you see that happen? It is happening. It is happening for a lot of us. And I see this in front of us. The kids the youth who are established in the truth. And then they basically says like, yes, I'm going to achieve this. And then they're not hung up on what they're going to do, but they just keep on doing what they do, just like the practice that we do, Kaizen. And then you see Kaizen results in the mastery. Like, the other day, Shauryan performed a beautiful music performance because he was like, I'm going to practice, committed to the truth. And then same thing like Samskriti, in Samhita, your postures. Right? That's the second power. And the third one, Asteya, non-stealing. If you don't steal other people's ideas, other people's property, is not only stealing is not only about when there is a surveillance camera. The surveillance camera is there within in the yoga. It's always watching. When you don't steal, the beautiful thing what Patanjali said is Sarva Ratno Upasthanam. Whatever the wealth that you need, it comes to you. Just don't steal others. And there is a beautiful metaphor in Bhagavad Gita that basically says, when you feel full, I don't need to get anybody else's stuff. When you feel full in the prosperity mindset, like what an ocean. Ocean feels like it has abundance of water. Then where do all the rivers go? Only to the ocean. Not because ocean needs water. Ocean feels like I'm fully abundant. I'm always joyful. Then the rivers are like, okay, let me go to the person. So don't you see this? If you're more joyful and happy, that's when friends come to us. If you're always sad, nobody would want to be with us except for our parents because they're stuck with you, right? Right? Or your friends, right? It works the other way too, right? Even if sometimes the parents are grumpy, the kid feels like we are stuck. Right? But basically it's like non-stealing, always feeling abundant. In fact, what is the opposite of stealing? Giving. The more you give, the more you grow. And this is happening. The more you give, the more you grow. And again, this is again a yogic power. If you know of some skills, like if you know yoga, share it freely to others. And what happens? You become more good at yoga. So that is the other one. And then brahmacharya. When you're constantly engaged in the higher thought, the Sat, you actually build more valor, more energy. Virya labdaha, that's what Patanjali says. Otherwise, what happens is when you are actually engaging in spirits, right? The mundane stuff, the spirit, what it does, it basically incapacitates you. You actually reduce your capability. You can't barely hold on to your steering. How many of you watched the movie, Telugu movie, Anand? Anand. Manchi coffee lanti cinema. See, a drunken guy, what does he do? He basically gets into an accident. So brahmacharya is always engaging in higher thought, pursuing excellence in the fields or giving others. So that's how you build more capacity. In the last one, aparigraha, don't try to go accumulate more stuff for yourself. In fact, that's violence. Then what happens is you actually suddenly you gain the wisdom of all your actions from your period of life. Everything comes to you to actually become the infinite. So again, the yamas are, this is not only Patanjali's way. Buddha also said the same thing. Jesus also said the same thing. Jesus, in fact, today, and I don't know if you read the Sermon on the Mount, what he said is maintain truthfulness, maintain compassion, maintain love, love your neighbor like myself, and always engage in the higher truth. And that's how you become like me. And that's what Patanjali said. It's beautiful for us to reflect on Sermon on the Mount on a Christmas day. But those are the first 5 things. This is what you do in your life, not on the mat. Should we all make a commit? Kaizen for these 5 principles? And again, just be aware. We don't have to be 100% truthful. Just a Kaizen every day. Be aware and then start. Then the other Niyamas. Now, the Niyamas are how you conduct yourself every day. And the first one is known as cleanliness. Everybody needs to commit to maintaining a good hygiene. Right? And this is very, very important. See what's happening. People that do not, Namaskaram ji, please take your seat for some time and then we'll wrap up in some time. Right? So cleanliness, what happens if people don't follow good hygiene, what is happening? There is COVID happening. Virus. The virus has come in. So what Patanjali said is people who are on the yoga path always need to establish in cleanliness, saucha. And the saucha is for the body, for the mind, and for the surroundings. So what that means, when you wake up every day, you have to make your sheets. You don't scatter all your clothes in the room. Right? So these are some of the things. This is again not what you do on the mat. This is our way of life. What's the power that you're going to get when you maintain cleanliness? You basically develop one-pointedness. Just to imagine, actually the other day, Shruti was telling me when she was in Penn State, she was trying to build her focus powers. And what she told me was very insightful. Just like Nana, I feel like whenever I want to study for an exam, I just need to take shower and be in a very nice frame. That is actually helping me study better. And some people ask me when they come to the yoga, should I do shower before or after? That's a common question that everybody says. And because everybody is like, yoga anyway becomes, sweats me, I cause sweat. So why don't I do this? So what I told them is, yoga means niyama. First, you need to be established in cleanliness. And yoga is like a puja. It's a prayer. Do you ever go to a temple without taking bath? No, right? So don't do yoga without taking bath. So cleanliness of the body and the mind and the surroundings is one of the responsibilities that we owe it to ourselves. The second one is Santosha. Be content. Always like, a lot of people now, when I see youth and adults, they're only focused on what they don't have. I don't have enough money to go to medical school. When they have a full job, right? And I don't have this. But, again, the growth mindset, focus more on what you already have. We are given so much thing. The fact that we are able to walk, breathe, that in itself is an abundance. Right? Sauch is Santosha. Tapas, commit to putting an effort, like the flow state, giving 10% is our prerequisite. Otherwise, what we're doing, we're only operating at 60% or 70%. We're wasting. Then the God says, like, why did I give this much power to this person? Let me take it away. And, do we see, like, I was talking to Mohit. He's able to run half marathons because he knows that capability. And he's running every day, 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. And the more you do it, you're actually building the capacity to do half marathon, full marathon. And someday you could even become somebody who can compete in any one of the competitions. But all that stuff can be cultivated. It's not a magic. But all that he's doing is tapas, ability to push yourself in the comfort zone. When I first started running, was it pleasure? I barely could, run for even 2 minutes. I was like gasping and this and that. But again, you establish in that Kaizen and the flow state and tapas. Push yourself in the comfort zone. And then a month later, the 2 minute became 5 minutes. The 5 minute became 20 minutes. To eventually it became a 1 hour. And that thing manifests in every place. The same thing in soccer, right? First time when you're doing it, wasn't it problematic? But the more you do it, you cultivate the capability, tapas, and the swadhyaya. But the tapas cannot be overheating. Like when I have like knee pain and you still want to go and run for like 20 miles, what do? Then you break. So overheating, be aware of what you're doing. Only get to about 10 to 20% of your capability. Don't go beyond that. Just investing in 10%, 20% every day, it actually results in a transformation. And the last one is Ishvara Pranidhana. Don't ever focus on an outcome. Because once you put the right effort, the 10 to 20%, with the right swadhyaya, and established in ahimsa, truthful and other thing, you become an infinite. You don't have to worry about, I need to get a good job, I need to make money. All those things follow you. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to chase them. Right? So that is what yoga's, the two fundamental limbs of yoga. And this is something that you don't need anybody to tell you. In fact, nobody can teach you how to be truthful, how to be non-violent. Right? So these are some of the capabilities that we need to do. And then the next 3 limbs, today we're going to focus on the next 3 limbs, the first 5 limbs, and tomorrow we're going to focus on the last 3 limbs. The next 3 limbs are, what are the names? Yama, Niyama. What is Yama? How do we conduct towards others? And what are those, Shruti? What are the 5 principles of how do we conduct towards others? I think, Shruti, please delegate. Yeah.
Disturbance, dull, distracting, one-pointed focus, and mastery.
See, we have so many 5 numbers now, right? This is 5 states of mind, right? What you said is this. Yama also has 5 principles. How do you conduct towards others? This time, all the fingers are good, right? We can say like maybe all the thumbs. One is ahimsa, which is like non-violence. And ahimsa is non-violence. Satya is truthful. Asteya is non-stealing. Brahmacharya is always engaging in sat, the higher thought. And then the last one is aparigraha, not being greedy and wanting to have more stuff for yourself. Because isn't it sad? Like less than 60% of the people don't even have food and the basic necessities. And then we all want to have millions of dollars. Isn't it unfair? It's unfair. So aparigraha, right? So what we need to do is we need to have more of inclusive. How do we bring other people along with us so that they could share the joy? And what did COVID teach us? It's a fundamental truth it taught us. Your well-being is in the well-being of the people around you. When people don't realize it, the God said like, okay, you're not allowed to be together. So put 6 feet distance. If you don't get our act together, next COVID is going to come 20 feet. And then everybody is going to get into their own pod in the cell with the camera and the Zoom. And that's how we're going to live together. So it's a high time we act together so that, we focus on the well-being of the people around us. So that way there will no more viruses come. Right? So, and then the 5 niyamas are Saucha, cleanliness, being content, being joyful with what we have. Tapas, always giving the 10 to 20% more than what we have, more than effort. And that effort needs to be right. You know, when I go to college, some people tell me, it's like, you know, they're not able to pay attention. So what do they do in the classes? In the math class, they're not able to pay attention. So somebody takes, what is that? Monster drink. And then they drink the monster, and then that's how they sit through a class. Is it the right way of getting the focus? No. What is it exactly? So the cool thing is then practice the right way to, what is the right way of building focus? You know, do some asana, do some breathing, you know, be aware of your toes. That is more systemic, no side effects when you increase more capability. So asanas, so Yama, Niyama, then the third limb that we're going to do is asana, like what we do. Every day, we must do at least 30 minutes of asana. What does asana do? Asana, what Patanjali said is, Tato dvandva anabhigataha. Dvandvas are conflicts. There is a big conflict that goes on every day in our life. That's a tongue versus stomach. There's always war. Tongue wants the most tasteful thing, the sugary things. And stomach says, oh, feed me some vegetables, some nutrients and all that stuff. But which one wins most of the time? The tongue. Right? What Patanjali revealed as a superpower is the more yogasanas that you do, these conflicts will be reduced. They'll removed. So do you see like people who are like working out or people who are doing, you know, the asanas and the yoga posture, naturally their lifestyle is gradually changing. They're eating more vegetables. They're actually watching, instead of watching Balakrishna movies or some kind of a mass mazala, they're watching some more, you know, documentaries are more pleasant and some of the stuff. Without them realizing consciously, the environment changes around them. Taking the asana practice suddenly reduces your habits, the bad habits, and the good habits come around you. And the pranayama, the more breath control, which is like what it says is Patanjali, there is a smoke that covers, like on the mirror, right? You know, it's like some smoke covers. What happens is the real radiance is not coming forward because the smoke is covering. The more pranayama that you do, that smoke gets cleared. So you are like operating with all the clarity and the brilliance. So that when you are actually, let's say, when you're doing a stage recital, I used to say this to both my girls. When they have a recital on stage for their flute performance or bassoon performance, the first thing that you will do is do some pranayama. And then they get on the stage and then they have clarity and the focus in the moment. And then the pratyahara. Pratyahara is like the more you gain control, mastery of your own senses, the more capability that you have, more power. So this is how Patanjali gained that, how every person has innate capability to increase their power. And this is happening from Steffi Graf to Boris Becker to Yvonne Linden. Take any walk of life. The people who are close to mastery, they all are following this. The only difference, they don't know Sanskrit. It's good that they don't know Sanskrit, actually. Right? The Yoga Sutra, because they are being taught this as a way of life. Now we are so blessed that now we are all being offered this knowledge, something that we could take it with us. So what's the Kaizen that we're going to implement? The first 5 limbs, the Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. We are going to incorporate that at least a 10% better than what we do yesterday. That's all we need to ask for ourselves. And that 10%, it becomes cumulative. And then there is no upper bound. Infinite power is going to be realized. So that's the thing for today. Any questions, comments?
Because we learned another chapter again today.
Huh?
Because we learned another chapter today.
Ah, exactly.
So, second day of session.
Second day of session. In 3 days, we're going to learn everything.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Tomorrow's the last day, right?
Oh, tomorrow is the last day. I know everybody is waiting for tomorrow, the last day, right, Pranav?
Since it's like, I think every, like, let's say a show, or let's say something, there's in final line is always like something grand expected.
So we're going to wait for the grand finale.
Yeah.
But any insights, questions, reflections? Do we agree with this? The tree? Hello. Huh? So sorry, I forgot your name. Tarun. What was the takeaway from today?
My biggest takeaway was just the practice. And also like the truths. Like sometimes you can say like, I won't get this, and then you won't get it. So you have to have that growth mindset.
Samhita, what is your takeaway from today? What did we learn the most? Or what registered with you?
The 5 limbs.
The 5 limbs?
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting how with those like different limbs you can get to your best self.
How you can get to your best. That's cool. Samskriti?
Yeah, I think it was also about the limbs, like how they portray like real life in us, and like how that helps you reach your potential.
And our true potential is being that Almighty, nothing less. And, in whatever the field, Almighty is like, we may choose, like, Shauryan wants to become a musician. By following this 8-limb path, we can be the greatest musician. And in fact, I see this even with A.R. Rahman. As a kid, he's established in all these principles. See, at the age of 12, he composed music for Roja. And I've been listening to a lot of his interviews. He's again maintained in being truthful, non-violent. Even his words, he can not even utter a negative word. And see what comes out of him.
Ramakanji, I think we lost them again.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. So it's just maybe like the auto login.
We couldn't hear you.
Okay, how much did you guys miss?
I think like 2-3 minutes. That's it.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay, that's cool. So, any reflections from either of you on the Yama, Niyama, or the 5 limbs, the first 5 limbs that we covered?
I think this takes away the assumption of like not perception of yoga means only on the mat and the postures, and actually make it clear that it's off the mat with Yama and Niyama is where actually we can get to what we want to achieve. And also like not just Superman or Catwoman or anybody, not only they have powers, we can also develop those powers and can achieve whatever we want in our life.
Indeed. I mean, so well said. I mean, what I realized is, when I was not established in the true and this Yama Niyama, when I was only thinking about my kids and everything that I'm doing is for optimization of my kids, my powers were so limited. My energy was so limited. The more I dropped that boundary, and I feel like, now I feel like, I'm seeking oneness with more and more people, and more things are coming at me. But it's a journey. It's a Kaizen. It's about 10%. Ramakant Garu, anything that you want to add?
Yeah, the structure for Iyengarji's tree of yoga was amazing. The roots, the bark, the flowers, just amazing.
Yeah, we can just grow this tree. So, okay, chalo, enough of this theory. How about we'll finish the rest of the yoga so that we can actually cultivate our toes. Let's be aware of our toes. Right? Why not? Okay, everybody lie down on our mat. I think, yeah. Okay, lie down on our mat. Okay. Heels and toes touching together. So heels touching together, toes fall apart. Hands by your side, palm facing up. Chin away from your chest. Eyes gently closed. Shift your eye gaze to the third eye. Now take a deep breath and exhale. Let's come into a practice where we give everything that we have and challenge about 10%. Inhale. Exhale. Let's start with wind relieving posture. Keep your left leg nice and relaxed on the floor. Grab your right leg 2 inches below the right knee. Tuck your chin to the chest to stimulate your thyroid. And pull the right knee towards your right shoulder, avoiding the rib cage. And take 2 deep breaths. Power of the focus mind. Release. Now let's do it on the other side. Now keep your right leg nice and relaxed on the floor. This time grab your left leg 2 inches below the left knee. Tuck your chin to the chest. Pull your left knee towards your left shoulder. And shift your attention to the breath. Take 2 deep breaths to improve our concentration. Release. Now this time, we grab our both legs. Grab your hands over your knees. Tuck your chin to the chest. Tuck your chin to the chest. And release. Now hold on to your knees and then rock up and up. Rock and roll. You can also roll side to side. Now, bring your 2 heels closer to your hips. Grab your ankles. And slowly lift your waist as high as you can. Lift your waist. Release. Now slowly roll to the other side, roll onto the mat, lie down on your stomach. So we'll work on spine strengthening series. We'll start with strengthening our lower spine with the Cobra Posture. Glue your 2 legs together, toes pointed, like you only have 1 Cobra leg. Align the top of the fingers with the top of the shoulders.
The hands are not further up or further down. Align the top of the fingers with the top of the shoulder. Now gently keep your elbows glued to the body. And while inhale, lift your head up like a cobra lifting your head. Make a big cobra. Make sure that your elbows are touching the body. Elbows are touching the body. Pay attention to the details. This is how we build the focus mind. And release. Now we'll work on the upper spine. Roll side to side. Bring your hands under your body. Palms touching the mat. Glue your two legs together, toes pointed. Bring your left ear onto the mat, look to the right. Left ear onto the mat, look to the right. And keeping your left leg nice and relaxed on the mat. Lift your right leg up. Toes pointed, no bent knee. It's not about how high you lift, it's about keeping your legs straight. Release. Now we'll do it on the other side. Now bring your right ear onto the mat, look to the left. Keep your right leg nice and relaxed on the floor. Lift your left leg up. Release. Now bring your chin onto the mat. Keep your chin nicely rested onto the mat. Glue your two legs together like you only have one cobra leg, toes pointed. Now this time, without lifting your chin off the mat, lift your two legs up. Lift your two legs up. And release. Release your hands. Shavasana, lift your arm to the mat, look to the right. Now let's do the other side. Right here onto the mat, look to the left. Now let's do aeroplane posture to strengthen our middle spine. Stretch your two hands by your side like two aeroplane wings. Two aeroplane wings. You can also stagger if you need to. Glue your two legs together like one aeroplane tail. One aeroplane tail. And inhale and lift and take off with your legs, hands up. Like a Boeing 777, lift up, 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 up. And slowly come down. No crashing. Now let's do the final posture in the spine trajectory series to work on the entire spine. The bow posture. Grab your right foot with your right leg. It's a right hand. Left foot with your left hand. Keep your toes pointed. Your hands and legs form like the two wheels for your body. And then inhale and kick first. Kick and left. Kick and left. Kick and left. Kick and left. Release. Everybody, use our hands and sit in Vajrasana. Sit in Vajrasana. We're going to do the variation of the tail posture. Lift your two hands up. Glue your palms together. Again, just like in the balancing stick, make sure that your hands are glued to your ears. They're never separated from your ears. Glue them. Inhale and stretch. Inhale. So rest your Yama. That's perfect. And then lift yourself up. Inhale, stretch up. And then exhale and slowly come down. Make sure that your ears and hands are brought together. Come down. Make sure that your hips are always glued to the heels. You're stretching your spine in opposite direction. Stretch forward with your hands. The fresh oxygenated blood gushes through the brain to bring clarity, to remove any dullness, a distraction. Inhale. Release. Now we're going to try a little bit of a back bend. Everybody stand on your knees. So we're going to do a camel. This is one of the back bends. And we're going to do it together. Bring your two hands parallel to the ground. Now from here, rotate your right hand and grab your right heel. And then bring your left hand, grab your left heel. And gently release your neck. And then hold your heels tight and lift yourself up and push forward. Lift yourself up and push forward. Again, come back the way you went in. Left hand, right hand. And since we did the deepest back bend, we're going to compensate it with the deepest forward bend. It's called the rabbit pose. Grab your two heels. Tuck your chin to the chest. And then slowly come down. Pull your heels. Come forward. Your forehead touches the knees. Inhale. Release. Now we're going to do 3 more postures, Paschimottanasana. But before we do that, should we do first a forward bend or should we do the butterfly posture? Which one do you want to do first? Butterfly? Okay, let's everybody do butterfly. Bring your 2 feet together. Grab your feet with your hands. And then flap your legs like 2 butterfly wings. Flap. Flap, 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 flap. So the runners. Okay. Now grab your 2 big toes with your fingers. Press your elbows into your thighs. Inhale, set up. Exhale, curve. And touch your forehead to the feet. And feet. Inhale. Now let's do Paschimottanasana. Let's cross your left leg. Bring your right leg in front of you. About 90-degree angle. Flex the right toes towards you. Let's do step by step. Inhale. Exhale, grab your right foot. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, elbows down, forehead down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Let's do it on the other side. Now this time, bring your right foot into your left thigh, flex your left toes, and again, pay attention to these details. This is how we're harnessing the power of a focused mind. Inhale, exhale, inhale, stretch forward, exhale, elbows down, forehead up. In the posture, always focus on your breath and shift your attention to the toes and fingers. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, inhale. Now let's do both legs forward. Flex the toes towards you. Inhale. Exhale and grab the two big toes. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, elbows down, stretch forward. Inhale, lift up. Inhale, release. Since we did the deepest forward bend, we can also try and do a reverse plank. Everybody, put our hands in the back. This is a sitting Tadasana. And from here, lift yourself up. Release. Turn your fingers the other side. Do one more time. Now let's do the last posture for today, which is, anybody knows what the last posture? Ardha Matsyendrasana, half spine twist. Cross your left leg, bring your left leg over your left knee. So bring your right leg over your left knee. Stretch your left hand up. Again, elbow straight, fingers straight. Bring it over your right leg, grab your left knee. Feel the right thigh pressing into your stomach, massaging the pancreas to help regulate insulin. And bring your right hand over your waist. Keep your spine straight and then gently look to the right and twist and look over your right shoulder. Make sure that your left toe is pointed. Release. Do it on the other side. Now this time cross your right leg. Bring your left leg over your right knee. Lift your right hand up. And bring it over your left leg. Grab your right knee. Feel the left thigh pressing into your stomach area. Look straight and gently look to your left. And twist. And look over your left shoulder. Feel the right toes pointed. Release. And that concludes the posture. So we started the practice with Ujjayi Pranayama. We end with Kapalabhati. Bhati means bringing brilliance. Kapala is a skull. Kapalabhati Kriya brings clarity and the brilliance to your skull and the mind. Right? And it also strengthens your core. So what we do is, we simply exhale, inhale happens automatically. Belly breathing. Right? Everybody begin. Faster and stronger. Inhale. Rotate your arms. Exhale. Now we try to get into meditation. We inhale, either hold the breath or do the gentle breath. But focus on the sound, any one sound that you want to hear in the room. Begin, inhale, shift your gaze to the third eye, and shift your attention to any one sound that you want to focus on.
please. Any unheard sounds that anybody focus on?
I heard someone's skin like take off the mat.
Any other sounds that anybody? What would be interesting is, you know, the more awareness that you build in, sometimes we pick up on this very subtlest of the sounds. But these sounds are somebody critiquing, somebody is like, is the ones that we have to look past it. Because in the world, wherever we go, there's so much noise. We want to focus our attention on some other nonsense, right? Let's do it one more time. Ready, begin. Exhale completely. Now suck your stomach in with your empty stomach. Lift your rib cage up and hold. Inhale. Work so hard. Feel the fresh energy filling every cell of our body. Exhale. Now inhale. This time in the meditation, we try to shift our awareness to a sound outside the room. Any one sound you want to focus on outside the room. Take a deep breath. Release. Let's chant Om 3 times. Keep your eyes closed. Take a deep breath for Aum. A-U-M. These are the 3 different energies that we can cultivate: the creative energy, sustaining energy, and the transformation energy. Shift your awareness from the navel area to the chest to the center of the eyebrows. Take a deep breath. After the Om, feel there is silence after the Om. Take one more deep breath. Feel the sound of Om vibrating through our body and all around. Gently lie down in Shavasana. We'll do progressive relaxation. Shift your awareness to the name of the body part. And say, mentally say relax to that body. We'll start with the right leg, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, right foot, right ankle, shin, right knee, right thigh, the whole right leg. Relax. Shift your awareness to the left leg, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, left foot, ankle, shin, left calf, knee, thigh, the whole left leg. Relax. Right waist, left waist, stomach, navel, lower back, upper back, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, center of the chest. Inhale and relax. Shift your awareness to the right hand palm, thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, the wrist, the elbow, right shoulder, the whole right hand. Relax. Left hand thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, left hand palm, the wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, the whole left hand. Relax. The neck, the throat, the face, right cheek, left cheek, the nose, right eye, left eye, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, center of the eyebrows, the forehead, back of the head, top of the head. Now from top of the head to the toes, take a deep breath and relax. Gently turn to the right. Slowly using your hands and both sit up, close your eyes. We'll do the final chanting. Follow with me. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Take a deep breath.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Sandhu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhave Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We wish everybody to be happy. We wish everybody to be free of sorrow and illness. We wish everybody to see only auspicious things and let there be peace everywhere. With this wonderful thought, rub your palms. Generate that fire and love of knowledge. Up your eyes to transmit this knowledge, to give us the right vision, to see the things the way they are, to focus on harmonious mind, the joyful state that we are. And slowly, a bright smile, with your own face, open your eyes. Thank you all for sharing your yoga practice with me. What a beautiful satsang it has been. I believe that we finished 2 days. Finished 2 days. Now, which day is better? First day or second day? Second. First. Pranav, which day is better?
Second.
Second. Shruti?
Second.
This party is every day is better.
Yeah.
So you guys, right?
I have 26th all party. Yeah, 26th is all.
Tomorrow. And I think we also wanted to do a yoga dance, but we'll see if we can find some time. We'll do the yoga dance tomorrow. Right? So, anybody have any final thoughts? Should we conclude the session for today? Did you have a good learning today?
Yes.
Did you learn about Astanga yoga?
Yes.
And what is one commitment that you are going to make? It's tomorrow. It's a homework. I want each one of us to come prepared with what is our Kaizen. What is the 2 or 3 things that we are going to commit to, that we're going to make it as part of our habits, actions. It's not listening. It only makes a difference when we commit to certain actions. Right? We just need to come up with what is that practice. It's not a practice that we're going to impose. You are going to come up with what is the practice that you're going to take it for yourself. And that one, the boundary of that practice is, it will only be 10% more than what you want to do, what you're capable of. Don't look for anything. Yeah, should we all do that as a homework for tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay, so with that, everybody have a wonderful Christmas. And this is our Santa's gift.
And you too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm the Santa. All of us are Santas, right? All of us are the Santas, right? Let's actually enjoy the feast. And Savita Garu and Ramakant, any closing thoughts from you?
Yeah, so each day has been...
Yeah.
So each day has been different. And lowly,
no.
A jasmine, a lily.
Just one second.
Go ahead.
Yeah, volume. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so each day when you ask how was yesterday, so for me, each day has been a different flavor, and rose can never be a lily. And all of them come together as a wonderful garland at the feet of the Lord. So thank you, Sriniji, for this wonderful garland for us.
Thank you. Savita Garu?
Yeah, wonderful session. Thank you. And I read somewhere that action creates motivation. People think other way around. Motivation creates action, but it's actually action creates motivation. And this is a good example that each day I'm committing to something, an action actually slowly develops a habit, and habit creates a motivation to continue to do that. So thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. That is so profound. We all can have thoughts, but only when you actually put that into action. The first way of manifestation is write it, but then actually doing it. The bias for action. Somebody told me that Gita, the inefficiency only happens because of action. Adharma. Adharma is only because somebody does some bad stuff, some action. So when you want to remove the adharma, only action begets action. So like, for example, if you put on some weight, it just doesn't happen. Some action actually, creates that. So you have to do action to undo action. So, Abhyadhanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. And the srujamyaham is, we invoke the divinity within us and power that into an action. And then we go from asat to sat. Untruth, inefficient state to efficient state. Okay, chalo. Happy Christmas. See, this is one of my these things, whistles and chappats, which is like Shauryan. Okay, Shauryan, we'll talk again. Everybody, have a good Christmas. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.